Dear learners, I welcome you all to this lecture series number 54, week 17, Creating Masters 1 as a part of Computerized Accounting. This lecture series is a part of your Financial Accounting BCom course code BCOC 131. With the advancement of technology, everything has moved towards the computerized way. Therefore, accounting has also moved towards the computerized accounting. Computerized accounting is much easier and faster than the manual accounting system which we used to follow in the previous years. Now let us start with the creating masters. Let us first discuss what is accounts. A chart of account is a list that depicts the account that a business used to store and record transaction in its books of account. Tally ERP9 software divides this chart of accounts into two parts, ledger and groups. As we know that accounting process can be done in two ways, in manual and computerized form. Therefore, there is a slight difference in the procedure of accounting in manual and computerized form. The difference is that in manual accounting process, we create ledger after recording the journal entries. That is, when a transaction is entered, we first enter the transaction into the journal and then we post the entries from journal to the ledger. But in computerized accounting, ledger creation is done before the journal entries. There is a logic why ledger creation is done before the journal entries. The logic is that because to do the journal entries in the computerized form of accounting, you need to have the ledger accounts so that you can do the debit and credit while doing the journal entries. Now let us discuss what are ledgers and groups. As you all have seen in manual accounting, ledger is a T-shaped account head. In manual accounting, on the left hand side there is a debit side and on the right hand side there is a credit side. In the debit side there are main three columns, date, particulars and amount. Similarly, on the right hand side, that is on the credit side, there are three columns, date, particulars and amount. All the journal entries are posted into the ledger account, hence it forms a T shape. For example, purchase account head will be called as purchase ledger. Similarly, sales account head will be called as sales ledger. Purchase account will be known as purchase ledger. Similarly, the purchase return head will be known as the purchase return ledger. To record specific transaction, you can create ledgers as per the transactions. As per your organization or company transaction, you can create n number of ledgers in the manual accounting. Same way, you can create n number of ledgers in the computerized accounting. In Tally ERP9, there are already two predefined ledger accounts which you will find in the software. They are cash and profit and loss account. It means that whenever you open a new company, these two ledgers will already exist and you don't need to create these two ledgers. In case you want to put balances into the cash and profit and loss account ledger, then you can directly put the balances. You don't need to create the ledger. On the screen, you can see that company Surbi Limited has been opened in Tally ERP9. And in the list of ledgers, only two ledgers are being reflected, that is cash and profit and loss. As already told, that these two ledger accounts are by default in the Tally ERP9. So you don't have to create it. Please note this important point. Now how do we view this predefined ledgers? To view this predefined ledgers, you will go to the gateway of Tally of ERP9. Within gateway of Tally, on the right hand side, you can see account info. Within account info, you can find ledgers. Within ledgers, there are two options, single ledgers and multiple ledgers. Now you have to click multiple ledgers. Within multiple ledgers, you have to click the display option. Once you click the display option, the following screen will appear. You can see on the screen that there is multiple ledger display of Surbhi Limited. Under group all items for 1st of April 2017, there are two ledgers with the name cash and profit and loss account. Under cash, cash in hand and profit and loss as primary. This under is basically the group of the ledger under which they are classified. Few minutes later, we will discuss the group and we will understand what does this group means. You can also see that there is an opening balance written over there. These two are blank because we have not put any balances in the cash and profit and loss account. This way we can see that whether the two ledger accounts, that is cash and profit and loss, exist in our Tally ERP9 company or not. Now we have discussed about the ledger. Let's discuss something about group. What is a group? Group is nothing but it is an accounting group which consists of ledger accounts of similar nature. Means those ledger which are of similar type, they have been classified under one group. For example, if there are 3 bank accounts with the organization, suppose PNB bank account, State Bank bank account and Bank of Baroda bank account. Now all these 3 ledgers will be made separately, as you know, in the books of account, and these 3 bank accounts will come under the group bank accounts because these 3 are the bank accounts which the company maintained with the different banks. Now in Tally there are 28 predefined groups, out of which 15 are main or primary groups and 13 are the subgroups. These groups are already there and you can view them while forming the company. You can add any new group if you want as per your choice. Now if we talk about these 28 predefined groups, 15 are, as I told you, they are main groups. These 15 main groups, you will find that 9 items are related to the balance sheet and the rest are the profit and loss related items. To view these predefined groups, let us go to the again gateway of Tally. Then we will go to account info. Within account info, you will click the groups. Within groups, there are again 2 options like the single group and the multiple group. Within multiple groups, you will click the display option. Once you click display, the following groups will appear. Now you can very well see that there are 28 groups which are already existing in the Tally software. Now let us just go through these 28 groups. You can see on the screen that multiple group display under group all items. The first group is capital account. Capital account is the amount invested by the owner, so it will come under the primary group. Second is the loan. Loan can be taken as a liability or loan can be given to some other firm or organization or person as an asset. Here loan is representing as a liability and it will come under the primary group. Then there are current liabilities, liabilities which we need to pay in immediate future. They also come under the primary group. Then there are fixed assets, assets which will help us in earning the money for a long period of time. They are also classified under primary group. Investments, investments are also classified as primary. Then there are current assets also under primary. Then there are branches or divisions. If there are various branches or division of an organization, then that will also come under the primary group. Then there is miscellaneous expenses. Then there is suspense account. In case of non-telling of the trial balance, debit and credit side, we put temporarily the difference in the balance in the suspense account. So it will also come under the primary group. There is a sales account for recording the sales. There is a purchase account. It will also be classified under primary. Then there are income and expenses. Both direct and the indirect incomes are classified under primary. Similarly, indirect income and indirect expenses are also classified under primary. Now these are the basic 15 items of which are classified under the primary group. Now comes the another items, reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus will be classified under capital account because these represent basically the part of the owner's capital. Then there is a bank OD, means bank overdraft. Bank overdraft is a loan liability. Then there are secured loans, then there are unsecured loans. Both are the classified under loans liabilities. Then there are duties and taxes. These are the payments which you need to make in immediate future. Then they are classified under the current liabilities. There are provisions, there are sundry creditors. These are under the current liabilities. Talking about under the current assets, there are basically 5 groups. One is the stock in hand. Then there is a deposit, which is as an asset, means you have given any deposit to any outside firm or organization. Then there are loans and advances. Then there are sundry debtors. Then there are cash in hand, and there are bank accounts. All these constitute the 28 groups which are already existing in the tally. Once again, I will bring this to your notice that there are 15 main groups and there are 13 subgroups. Within 15 main groups, 9 items are related to balance sheet and the remaining 6 are related to profit and loss account. Now let us move to the ledger creation. We have understood the difference between the group and the ledger. Now let us create ledger. Ledger creation is very simple procedure and it can be done in any of the one way. There are basically 2 ways of creating it. One is the single ledger creation. The single ledger creation will require you to create every ledger, one single ledger in one time. Means you need to go to the previous menu again to create the ledger. Whereas multiple ledger creation will allow you to create ledgers, many ledgers at the one go. The main advantage of using multiple ledger creation is that it saves time. Now let us create ledger for the company Surbhi Limited. As you can see on the screen, we have taken 2 ledger accounts to be created under Surbhi Limited. One is Surbhi Capital account, then there is a building account. Surbhi Capital account will be classified under the capital group and its amount is 5 lakh rupees. Whereas building account is under the group fixed assets because building is a fixed asset and the amount is 2 lakh. Now let us see the procedure of creating the ledger. For creating the ledger, you will have to go to accounts info in masters in gateway of tally. You will find account info, ledgers. Ledger, there will be 2 options. One is the single ledger and there is a multiple ledger. Since we are using single ledger, so we will use the option single ledger. Within single ledger, there is create. When you will click create, a screen will open in front of you. It will ask you what is the name of the ledger. So type in the name Surbhi Capital account. Once you type Surbhi Capital account, you have to select the group. That is, Surbhi Capital account is classified under which group? As it is evident that Surbhi Capital account will come under the capital account group. So you will select the capital account group under the drop down menu. Once you have selected, then you can press enter. Various other details are also asked and you can also enter the amount in the opening balance as 5 lakh. After entering all information, you can see on the screen that in the name Surbhi Capital account is reflected, under is capital account. Now there are other informations like inventory values are affected. Since capital account is not going to affect the inventory value, we have put this option as no. Whereas in mailing details, there is a name which automatically will come will be Surbhi Capital account. If you want to give the address, type the address in the address bar. Then there is a country which we will select India and in state we will select Delhi. Then you can write the PIN code. Then there is an option provide bank details. If you want to provide the bank details, put this as yes, otherwise as no. Then there are tax registration details also. Tax registration details will encompass the PAN or IT number. You can write down the 10 digits PAN number, and if you want to set GST details, or if you want to enter, or if you want to alter GST details, you should use this option as yes. Since right now we don't want to use it, so we have set it to no. Once you press and enter, it will take you to the opening balance. You can see opening balance is mentioned as on 1st April 2017, and the balance is 5 lakh rupees, and within side of the balance you can see that there is CR written. CR means credit. Capital is having a credit balance, so therefore it is showing credit. This is automatically done. Now why there is a credit over here, not debit? This is dependent upon the group. You have selected capital account. In Tally, it is automatically feeded that the capital account group will have credit balance. Wherever you will select the group as capital account, it will have the credit balance. It means that in case you select a wrong group, that is, instead of capital account, if you select some other group, then whatever the credit or debit is feeded with that respective group will appear here. So you have to take very much care while selecting the group, because this group will ultimately decide how your financial statements are prepared. If you select a wrong group, wrong data will be reflected and your financial statement will not give you a clear picture. One thing you can also note that on the extreme right top there is a total opening balance. Since we have not created any ledger account so far, and this is the first ledger account, so it is showing that there is a 5 lakh credit balance, and the difference is also a 5 lakh credit. In case if I make another ledger, say of fixed asset building, so fixed asset will have a debit balance. This column will show debit amount also, the credit amount also, and the difference also. You can very well understand this while we will talk about the ledger creation of building account. Now you are satisfied and you have completed all the details while creating this ledger. You can press enter. If you press enter, it will ask you to accept it. Now you can either click Y from the keyboard, or you can take your cursor towards the yes and click on it. Once you click yes, ledger will be created. If you are not satisfied or you want to make any more change, then you can press no or N from the keyboard, and then you can carry out the required changes. Since we are satisfied with the creation of this ledger, so we will press Y from the keyboard, or we will take the cursor towards yes and will press it. Once you press it, the ledger will be made. Now on the screen you can see that by going to the display option, there are now 3 ledgers which exist within the list of ledgers. For example, cash and profit and loss were already there. Now you can see a third ledger, that is Surbhi capital account. It means we are successful in creating a third ledger, that is Surbhi capital account. I hope you will find this easy. Now to get more clarity, let us make one more ledger. Now let us make the building account ledger. Building account ledger, again you have to go to the gateway of Tally. Within gateway of Tally you will find account info. Within account info you will find ledgers. Again ledger will show you 2 options, that is single ledger and the multiple ledger. Within single ledger you will have to click again create. When you will click create, again a window will appear and it will ask you about the name. In the name, write down the building account. Building account will come under which group? It will come under fixed asset group. Now press enter, and if you want to enter the other details, you will write those details and press enter. Once again I will repeat, to move to the next option you have to press enter every time. So by pressing enter we will reach to the balance. Now in the opening balance you will put 2 lakh rupees. Once you put the 2 lakh rupees, you can see that there is a debit written over there. As I have already discussed, since fixed assets have debit balance, so therefore as you have selected group fixed asset for building account, it is showing debit balance. You can see other details like statutory information, the inventory values whether are affected or not. You can set this option as per your need. Look towards the extreme right top. Now you can see that total opening balances, there is a change. The change is, earlier there was only 5 lakh. Now there is a 2 lakh in debit also, since we are creating a new ledger, that is the second ledger. So now it is reflecting that the total opening balance will be 2 lakh in debit and 5 lakh in credit, and the net difference amount is 3 lakh, that is in credit. So now we are done with the information. We will again press enter and it will ask us to accept it. If again we are satisfied, we will press Y from the keyboard or take the cursor towards the yes, or in case if we want to make any other change which has come to our mind, we can make that change by pressing no or N from the keyboard. We are satisfied with this, so we will press Y from the keyboard and the ledger will be created. Now you can see on the screen that in the list of ledgers there are now 4 ledgers which exist. First one is the building account, then there is a cash account, there is a profit and loss account, and Surabhi capital account. I will once again repeat that cash and profit and loss account was not made by us. They exist automatically in the Tally ERP9 software. Now we have completed the ledger creation. In a similar way, we can create any ledger which we want to create. Procedure will remain the same, that you will go to the account info. Within account info, you will find ledgers. Ledger will have 2 types, single ledger or multiple ledger. Within single ledger, there will be many options. You will click ledger create, then the window will open and you can write down the name and the other details of the ledger. Similar way, we can create rent ledger. This will come under the indirect expenses group. If there is a interest income, it will come under the, we have earned the interest, in that case it will come under the indirect income group. Wages will come under the direct expenses. Similar way, advertisement will come under the indirect expenses. You can create ledger by using the single ledger. Now let us move to the second part, that is, in case you have a large number of ledgers to be created under the same group, you can use the multiple ledger creation. As I already told you that multiple ledger creation will enable you to create same class of ledgers quickly, as creating single ledger takes time, as you have to move backwards to the main menu, then again to the account info, then ledger creation and then single ledger. So it will help you in saving time in case you have multiple ledger accounts to be created under the same group. Let us understand how multiple ledger creation is done. For multiple ledger creation, we have taken an example where there are 2 fixed assets for which ledger needs to be created. Now we have 2 options, that we can create individually furniture and plant and machinery account, or we can use multiple ledger creation also, as they both fall under the fixed asset account. Furniture account, group fixed assets, amount we are taking 50,000. Plant and machinery account, fixed assets, and the amount is 1 lakh rupees. Since we are creating both the ledgers, So we will again follow the same procedure of going in the master's account info, then click on the ledger. Previously we have been clicking on the single ledger, but now we will click on the multiple ledger. Within multiple ledger also you will find the same options of creating. You will click create and you will select under fixed account. Once you select the under fixed account, then you will move to the next thing, that is name of the ledger. When you write the name of the ledger, that is furniture, then automatically, since you have selected the fixed asset, it will automatically appear adjacent to the furniture. Now you put down the balance we have taken to be 50,000 rupees. Then press enter, then write the name of the second ledger. Second ledger is plant and machinery. Write down plant and machinery, press enter, automatically fixed asset will come. Write down the balance as 1 lakh rupees. Now you will press enter, it will show you the third ledger. Since we want to create only 2 ledgers under the fixed asset, we will press enter once again. So you should understand that in case there are more ledgers to be made, we will put and we will make use of the enter and we will keep on writing the name of the ledgers and the opening balance. But once we are complete with the ledgers, then you have to press one more enter to reach to the last point, that is accept. So we have pressed the enter twice after writing the opening balance. So now it is asking us to accept it. When you press Y from the keyboard or you take your cursor on the yes and you click it, the ledgers will be created. If you press N or no, then the ledger creation screen will remain open and you can make the required changes by using the backspace. On the screen now you can see that multiple ledger creation under group there is fixed assets and both the ledgers are there and opening balances are also there. We have accepted them, so ledgers have been created, and now on the screen you can see within the list of ledgers there are cash, furniture, plant and machinery, profit and loss and Surabhi capital account. I have already told you that cash and profit and loss account is already there. We have initially created Surabhi capital account which is now being illustrated, and 2 other fixed assets which we have created using the multiple ledger is also there, that is furniture and plant and machinery. So we have successfully completed the multiple ledgers, that is furniture and plant and machinery account. Similar way you can use this option for creating any ledgers which form under the same group. For example, if you have current liabilities like sundry creditors and bills payable, or if you have trade payables, you want to create both the ledgers, then in that case you can use the multiple ledger creation option. Similarly, for the current assets like the cash, the stock in hand, the prepaid expenses, you can use the multiple ledger creation for creating the ledgers. Now let us quickly once again go through the procedure. For the creation of ledger, you have to go to account info in the masters. Within account info, you will find 2 options, that is groups and the ledger. Within ledger, there are 2 options, single ledger or multiple ledger. Depending upon your need, you can either choose the single ledger or the multiple ledger. Once you click the required option, suppose if we click the single ledger, then there will be option of create. Once you click the create, then the screen will open and it will ask you to enter the name of the ledger account. So this way you can create the ledgers within the Tally ERP 9. Ledger creation is the first step in the Tally ERP 9 after creation of company. Ledger creation is necessary because if you don't create the ledgers before, then you can't pass the journal entries in the accounting, as for creating invoices or even vouchers, you will need to have the ledger accounts within Tally ERP 9 so that you can use them and put them under debit or credit. Therefore, this ledger creation is of utmost importance. You should take necessary care for creating ledgers, as whole accounting procedure is dependent upon the ledger creation. If the ledger creation goes wrong, the financial statement will not be prepared in a fair manner and it will give you the distorted result. So we have completed one important step of the accounting system, computerized accounting system, that is creation of ledgers. With this lecture series comes to an end. Happy learning, learners.